It's 6:12 p.m. The plate lands on the table. Pasta again. The same pasta as yesterday. Your child looks at it, sighs, and pushes it away. No, they say, already sliding off the chair. Your stomach tightens. You feel tired before the fight even starts. How did dinner become this hard? And in those few minutes, something else is happening. Not just food refusal. A lesson is being quietly taught, one neither of you intended, a lesson that shapes every future meal. Have you ever wondered what your child is really learning at the table? When begging starts, when bargaining sneaks in, when you promise dessert, the focus shifts. Dinner stops being food. It becomes negotiation. Maybe you offer a different meal, just this once. Maybe you say, just 3 bites, please. Maybe snacks happened too close to dinner because the afternoon was long. Each response feels loving, protective, reasonable. But over time, these small choices teach a powerful rule. Refusal works. Fast forward 10 years, the foods narrow. The anxiety around meals grows. Holidays feel tense. Eating out feels impossible. Not because you failed, but because the pattern quietly solidified early on. What feels like survival now can become stress later. So why does picky eating seem to grow instead of shrink? Because it feeds on control. When children learn that saying no changes the menu, they keep saying no. When pressure appears, resistance rises. And when snacks fill the day, hunger never arrives. Without hunger, curiosity disappears. Have you noticed how much easier new foods feel when you're actually hungry? Underneath all of this is something very normal. Children are wired to be cautious with new foods. It's called food neophobia, and it's protective. Their brains are also craving autonomy. Eating is one of the few areas they fully control. When that control is threatened, stress floods the system. Stress shuts down appetite. It shuts down learning. The more you push, the more their brain hears danger, and danger never tastes good. Here's the part most parents don't hear enough. Pressure doesn't teach children to eat. It teaches them to resist. Their nervous system remembers the tension, not the broccoli. When meals feel safe, regulation develops. When meals feel charged, self-regulation stalls. Does dinner feel calm, or does it feel like a test? Now let me take you somewhere else. A different table, a different rhythm. In many French homes, dinner looks surprisingly simple. There is one meal, the same meal for everyone. No backup dinners, no short-order cooking. This isn't strict, it's steady. The rule is quiet but firm. One family, one meal. Parents decide what is served and when it is served. Children decide whether to eat and how much. That's it. No chasing bites, no counting mouthfuls, no pressure to clean the plate. A child may taste politely, they may stop early, they may even skip the meal, and the parents stay calm. Why does this remove power struggles so completely? Because the roles are clear. Control is shared, not fought over. The child's brain relaxes. Autonomy is respected. Hunger is allowed to build, and curiosity slowly returns. Repeated exposure does the rest. Food becomes familiar before it becomes loved. Can you feel how different that energy is already? So how does this actually work at your table? First, meals and snacks happen at predictable times. There is a 2 to 3 hour gap before dinner. No grazing, no constant crackers. You might say, snack time is over, dinner is soon. Not angry, not apologetic, just calm. Next, you serve the family meal. You include at least one food your child usually accepts. That's important. You don't announce expectations. You simply place the plate down. You might say, this is what we're having tonight. And then you talk about your day. Food stays in the background. Then comes the polite taste. Not forced, not dramatic, a gentle expectation. One taste is how we learn new foods. If they refuse, you don't argue. You keep eating. You model enjoyment. Children learn far more from watching than from being told. Imagine this scene. Your child frowns at the chicken. You say, "You don't have to eat it." Pause. "But this is dinner." They poke it. Maybe they taste, maybe they don't. You stay neutral. No praise, no disappointment, just presence. Can you see how the pressure drains away? Consistency matters more than perfection. The first few days might feel worse. That's normal. Your child is checking if the old rules still apply. You stay steady. Meals end calmly. If they don't eat, you say, "We'll have breakfast in the morning," and you trust their body. What if your child skips a meal? Most children won't skip many once hunger returns. What about snacks? They still exist, they're just scheduled. What if your child is extremely stubborn? Stubborn often means sensitive and perceptive. These children actually thrive most with clear boundaries. You're not removing love, you're removing chaos. Over weeks, something shifts. The fear fades. Foods look less threatening. Appetite regulates. You stop dreading dinner. Your child stops testing. Trust grows on both sides of the table. Eating becomes just eating again. This isn't about creating a perfect eater. It's about creating a peaceful relationship with food. One family, one meal. Parents decide the structure. Children decide their bodies. When hunger is respected and pressure disappears, picky eating loosens its grip. And next time, we'll talk about how repeated exposure quietly rewires food acceptance over time.